Chapter 16, Water, a Natural Resource. Introduction. We are living in the 21st century and developing at a very fast pace. Every day there are new breakthroughs in medical science, new technological inventions which make our lives more comfortable. But what is the source of all these new things that are being made? Nature. The only source of materials from the humans is the earth and its atmosphere. The materials that we obtain from the nature are called natural resources. Natural resources. All the materials we get from the nature are called natural resources. These include oxygen for breathing, food from plants and animals, energy from sunlight, water for drinking and other purposes, medicines from plants, metals from ores, minerals from earth crust, fossil fuels for energy. And the list is endless. These natural resources can be broadly classified into two categories: renewable and non-renewable
resources.
1. Renewable resources. Renewable resources are those which never get completely used up. They get replenished within a short span of time. Few examples of renewable resources are oxygen. Oxygen is used for breathing but gets replenished when plants produce it while doing photosynthesis. Sunlight. Sun is a constant source of energy. As long as the sun is there, these resources will never finish. Since the sun is expected to stay around for next 5 billion years, we can call it a renewable resource. Water. We need water for surviving. Water is used for most human activities. However, it comes back to us through rains, so it is a renewable resource. 2. Non-renewable resources. These are resources which run out after continuous use and do not get replenished in a long time. Some of the non-renewable resources are forests. We cut forests for various purposes. Though planting of trees can be done, it cannot create a forest in a short time. Hence, forests are non-renewable resources. Fossil fuels. Fossil fuels took millions of years to form. As we are using them continuously, they will soon get used up completely, and we are not likely to get them again till millions of years. Minerals. We constantly dig the earth to get minerals, metals, sand, stones, and clay for different purposes. These do not get replenished. Soil. Soil takes a very long time to form. Due to deforestation, the soil erosion takes place and we lose a great amount of this resource. Due to constantly increasing population, the use of resources is also increasing and the demand on nature is dangerously high. We on Earth are going into a very difficult time in future when the resources will become very scarce. One of such resources is water. Though there is abundance of water on Earth, very little is available to us. Out of this little, we use a lot and waste a lot. Due to ignorance and casual outlook, we are not realizing that the water crisis will cripple the world in near future. Let us learn more about it. Water, a renewable resource. About 70% of the Earth's surface is covered with water. It is found in oceans, seas, rivers, ponds, streams, snow, and underground. Water is also present in air as water vapor. Of all the water on Earth, only about 3% is fresh water. Out of this, a large amount is present as glaciers and ice caps. Less than 1% water is available to us from different sources such as lakes, ponds, rivers and groundwater. We need water for almost all our activities. What is it about water that makes it so useful for us? Properties of water. You are aware that matter exists in 3 states: solid, liquid and gas. How many substances are there which you commonly see in all the 3 states? The answer is only one: water. Water is the only substance which we can easily see in all 3 states. This is because the freezing point of water is 0 degrees Celsius and boiling point is 100 degrees Celsius. Both these temperatures are easily attainable. Since water can easily change into all 3 states, it gets replenished in nature. In fact, water circulates on Earth in the form of water cycle.
Uses of water. We need water for everything we do. Some of the uses of water are as follows. For living organisms. All living organisms contain water in their bodies and need it for various metabolic processes. In humans, about 70% of the body is water. It is present in blood and other cell liquids. Water is needed for functioning of all systems of the body. An average adult needs to drink about 2 to 3 liters of water every day. For domestic purposes. Water is needed for doing household chores like cooking, washing, and cleaning. People get this water from the government's water distribution system. Some people also use underground water for these chores. For farming. Farmers need large amount of water for growing crops round the year. This water comes from rains and from man-made irrigation systems. Plants need this water to do photosynthesis and grow. For industries. Water is used in all industries. It is used for various purposes such as raw material, solvent, cooling agent, and cleaning agent. For electricity. Hydroelectricity is the main source of electricity in the most parts of the world.
Availability of water. Water for all these purposes is obtained from different sources. Rain. Rain is the main source of water for our earth. The water evaporated from the water bodies falls back in the form of rain and snow. This rain feeds all water bodies such as glaciers, rivers, ponds and groundwater. In India, most of the water needed for farming comes from rain, rivers and lakes. These are fed by the water coming from glaciers and rain. Most of the water for domestic use comes from rivers and lakes. In some areas of India, rainwater is also used for irrigation. Sea. Ocean water is salty. It cannot be used for domestic or industrial use. However, in some countries, the desalination of seawater is done to produce water for drinking and domestic use. Groundwater. Groundwater refers to the water present below the ground at certain depth. The level where water is found is called the water table. The layer of sand and rock which can absorb and hold water is called an aquifer. Groundwater is used by people where government supply is scarce or not available. In rural areas, groundwater is extracted by digging wells and tube wells. At some places, groundwater also comes out in the form of a spring or meets a lake. In India, the availability of water varies from place to place. We get most of our water during the monsoon season from rains. Northern states of India get a lot of rainfall. There is very less rainfall in Rajasthan's desert areas. India also has a network of rivers which supply water. Few main rivers of India are Brahmaputra, Ganga, Yamuna, Narmada and Tapti. In monsoons, these rivers get an abundance of water, sometimes resulting in massive floods. In 2013, the northern parts of India, especially Uttarakhand, received lot of rains. These caused flash floods which wiped out villages in the state and caused lot of damage. The famous Kedarnath shrine was also damaged heavily. To regulate the amount of water and maintain a steady supply, huge dams are constructed on almost all major rivers. These also help in generation of electricity. A dam contains a huge wall with openings which can be regulated. The water from river collects on one side of the wall and is allowed to pass at a steady speed. This water is also distributed in artificially made tributaries and canals to provide water to different areas. Water shortage. As mentioned earlier, the need for water is ever increasing, but the supply is limited. In the parts of our country where water is easily available, people use and waste water without any thoughts of conserving it. On the other hand, there are places where people do not even get enough drinking water. They have to walk miles to get their daily supply of water. Some of the reasons for increasing water shortage are as follows. Increasing population. As the number of people is increasing, the requirement for water is also increasing. People are using lot of groundwater, which is lowering the water table at an alarming rate. Construction. More and more of residential areas are coming up in both rural and urban areas. Lots of water is used up in construction work. Also, the construction of roads and concrete surfaces does not allow the rainwater to seep into the ground. As a result, groundwater does not get replenished in these areas. The rainwater just flows into the drain. Industries. More industries are coming up with the increasing population. These use a lot of water. Also, the used industrial water contains lot of toxic substances. It is allowed to mix with the water bodies and contaminate them. This has polluted most of the rivers of India. Agriculture. Increasing population demands more food. This means more farming. This in turn means more usage of water. When the rainfall is not enough for farming, groundwater is used for the same. This results in lower water table. Deforestation. The roots of trees hold the soil holds the water. With deforestation, soil erosion occurs on a large scale and results ultimately in loss of water. Effects of water shortage. Scarcity of water affects every living organism. Animals in forest do not get enough drinking water. Plants do not grow well in the absence of water. This reduces the amount of food. This in turn makes food more expensive and scarce. 75% of India's rivers and lakes are so polluted that they should not be used for drinking or bathing. Water conservation. The earth is crying out with the need of conserving water. We can do a lot to conserve water at an individual, community and national level. Some ways of reducing water usage and wastage are as follows. Water your yard and outdoor plants early or late in the day to reduce evaporation. Mulch around plants to hold water in the soil. Take shorter showers, 5 minutes or less is best. Install new toilets that use less than 1.6 gallons per flush. Use a shut-off nozzle to your house. Get an Energy Star labeled washing machine. Wash only full loads. Turn off the water while soaping hands and brushing teeth. Put faucet aerators on sink faucets. Use plants that require less water. Use a low-flow shower head. Turn off sink faucet while scrubbing dishes and pots. Use a broom, not a hose, to clean driveways and walkways. Recycle water at home. Water used from rinsing clothes can be used to mop floors and water plants. People should not wash the areas outside their homes and their cars with pipe water. Government should maintain the pipelines and repair leaks and cracks promptly. Instead of the tube wells, drip irrigation systems should be used in farming. Government should help the farmers to install such systems. Rainwater harvesting systems should be developed. These can be constructed in every house or even at a larger level. Rainwater can be collected in artificial ponds and lakes and used later. Water pollution. In addition to wastage, various domestic and industrial activities are contaminating the water bodies. This polluted water is very harmful for all living organisms. We will learn more about water pollution in subsequent chapters and higher classes.